Okay, this is the video of making a Enigma from a Pringles tube. You'll need all the following equipment in front of you. You'll need a Pringles tube, you'll need some glue, you don't need some scissors unless you haven't actually cut out the rings. Helpful if you've got a pen and a ruler as well, because you can make sure all the rings are in the right line. This machine that we've got here has a grey bar across the starter point on the reflector, which goes first, then rotors 1, which is on Q, rotors 2, which is on E, rotors 3, which is on V, and the input-output ring, which is set to A. We want them to all be in a solid line so that the machine works fine. So this is why we've got the ruler. We take the Pringles tube and we draw a line straight across the Pringles tube so that we can line them all up. We can put the pen and the ruler away because we're done with those. We're going to start on the left-hand side of the machine and we're going to put a dollop of glue because that's where we need to put the reflector. The reflector is this one here, it's on the left-hand side. And we start with the grey bar, making sure the grey bar is stuck down on the line that we've just made. Doesn't need to be super duper glued very hard, you just need to glue it down to the Pringles tube. You then take the glue and put a very small dollop of glue just on the little tab there. Don't worry if you've got this bit here, it doesn't matter because it's going to overlap. You just want this section here to glue straight onto that, making sure, if we can get this in the video, that the whole grey bar is visible. This should not overlap this, you should see the whole grey bar, and the grey bar should be on the black line that you've just made. Notice the reflector doesn't rotate. It doesn't rotate because we put a bit of glue actually on the machine itself. We do exactly the same with rotors 1, 2 and 3, except this time it doesn't want to get stuck down. And on rotors 1, 2 and 3 you can see a very faint white grey line. You do exactly the same, making sure to glue it, but you want the little grey line to appear. That's all you want to be able to do. Again, making sure that that matches up nicely. Let's see if I can do it here, where the gluing goes up to the grey line and that rotor should rotate. You do exactly the same with the other two rotors, rotors 2 and 3. This time I'm just going to put a bit of glue actually on here, like so. Again, we want to wrap them round so they fit in order. Rotors 1, 2 and 3. They just go on the Pringles tube. If you overlap, you can always pull it down until you see the grey bar. It doesn't have to be. They have to rotate. That's all that has to happen. Rotors 1, 2 and 3. If you're very careful, you'll still see your black line. The black line, we did it before because that lines up with this grey bar here, and we're going to do exactly what we did before. We're going to put a little bit of glue on the black line, because this is where the input-output ring is going to go, making sure that the grey bar on the A, in this case, sticks onto the black line. We can leave little gaps if we want, but it's a bit easier to use if we just make it nice and snug. And we do exactly the same, little bit of glue here, little bit of glue on the tab, and then you can come round and link it up like so. If you've done everything correct, you should see that when you set the first ring to Q, the second ring to, making sure the first one doesn't move, to E, line them up, hold them down, rotate the third one to V. If you've done everything right, you should see the grey bar, Q, E, V and A. You're now ready to send a message.